There we go. So welcome to Professional Networking Now, where we're building lasting relationships. And you're not going to go to the next page. Okay. We ask that everyone be kind. We know everyone is busy, but please try to stay engaged. If you decide to step away, please turn off your camera. Keep yourself muted unless you are speaking. And just as you heard, as a reminder, this meeting is being recorded. So if there's anything that you don't want to have on the recording, please don't say it. I don't know how to edit videos, so. So first, we're going to start out with 60-minute introductions, talk about what you do, and also remember, really important, remember what is a good referral for you. And then please put your information in the chat. And our speaker this week is for our 15-minute presentation will be Susan De Robertis of SDR Business Consulting. Today, Susan will be discussing with us how to think like a CEO. That's so exciting. Definitely need to get our brains in that thought. And then for helpful hints, we have the 10 minutes. This week, helpful hints will be brought to you by Richard Luppino of Infinia Development. I gotta get that. Okay. Richard will give us some hints about reputation management. And then this is when we're going to kind of open it up for if anybody has any announcements, if you have awesome deals, events, sales, or causes that you would like to promote, please let us know. Talk to us about it. This is a really good opportunity to share about your business. And then if we hear of somebody who needs something, then we can point it out for you, send them towards you. So, and also put that in the chat as well with any links if you have it. Then we're going to go into 10-minute breakout rooms. If we stay this size, if nobody else kind of trickles in, then we'll probably just stay with this set in the main group. And gotta love Joanne, put little musical notes in there.
It's that time of year. Okay, I'm good.
There you go. She said it for me. What's your favorite holiday? If there, like I said, if there's not enough in attendance, we'll just stay right here. Then that's when I'll stop the recording and we'll open it up for free for all. If we want to continue discussing the topics that we were talking about earlier, if anybody has anything that they are struggling with or they want to talk about, we want to brainstorm, have other creative discussions, this is the perfect time. And it kind of frees it up where you're not being recorded. We can just have a good old-fashioned discussion. So I'm gonna stop sharing here. Yay. So that's us. We already have people sharing in the comments. That's awesome. Thank you. So I'm gonna go right around my screen. It's perfect. We've got a little clockwise action going here. So Richard, you're first up.
I just want to interject, everybody, just try to take your 60 seconds because we want to get Susan on, into her presentation because she can't stay with us long. Okay.
So Richard.
All right. Good morning. Richard Luppino, President and CEO of Infinia Development, a full stack web development agency. We help people with their online presence. We help them get seen and get found so they can get paid. I put my information in the chat. I also have a free consultation for SEO. I have a link to that in the chat. It's like a 15-minute phone call. We kind of go over and give you a couple tips on how to improve.
Awesome. Thank you. And what's a good referral, real quick?
Oh, good referrals for me are actually marketing agency and public relation agencies. They're the ones that strategize about all this and, how to brand you. And I'm the one that gets my hands dirty and builds it.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you. And next we have Dr. Wanda.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Wanda Gentil, Dr. Wanda, AKA public health educator and trainer. I actually help women with digestive and mental health challenges, but I also have added healthcare practitioners who are financially stressed and burnt out to improve the healthcare system, but also earn additional income through systems. So a very good referral for me is really anybody who wants to have a speaker, from an event planner to a corporate wellness coordinator, anything like that that requires a speaking person, because I not only do I talk about health, but I can also talk about different topics in business when it comes to productivity. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And next we're going to have Susan.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I'm Susan De Robertis, SDR Consulting. Success-driven results, that's what it's all about. So I make life easier for business owners to be more confident and clear, to be prosperous by growing your revenue, increase your profit, and have consistent cash flow. A dream without a plan is just a wish. So I am your CFO, business coach in your pocket, helping you to up-level and scale your business with strategic planning, executive coaching, generating consistent cash flow, more high-paying clients, managing your time so that you put it where it belongs, and you got your CEO think, and it's from startups to exit strategy. I am there for you. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you. And I don't know, Deborah, are you able to do a quick introduction?
I'll do a quick one.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Deborah Francis. My company is Integra Accounting and Bookkeeping Services, LLC. I do taxes, accounting, auditing, and I'm a forensic accountant. I love to work with not-for-profits to do fund accounting. So if that's my referral request, if you know not-for-profits that's struggling with classifying their transactions and making it convenient for them to do their books, you could just refer them to me. I can clean it up and get it compliant with GAAP and all of the taxing agencies. My mind is a little distracted, but if you know of a not-for-profits that's struggling with their accounting and classifying their transactions, I'm the person that you should be referring. Deborah Francis, Integra Accounting and Bookkeeping Services, working in your business so you can work on your business. Thanks.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thank you, Deborah. And next, Michelle popped in. So we're going to have Michelle go.
Good morning. I'm a hot mess here today. Hot mess.
Oh.
I can help it. I'm
All
a hot
good.
mess. I have no idea how I taught school for 30 years because this training 2 to 3 days a week is just wiping me out. But anyways, I am on lake time today. I'm visiting with my sister in upstate New York, and she lives right on Lake Ontario. So I drove here from Saratoga late last night so I could spend the weekend with her. So I'm all over the place. But anyways, what has helped me stay very calm while I'm doing this is my CBD oil. Thank you, Jesus, for that. But that's what I do. I work in the cannabis industry, and I love what it does to our bodies. We all have an endocannabinoid system, which is, I like to call it the grand central station of our bodies. And as we get older, we don't produce enough CBD1 and CBD2, which is a natural cannabinoid our body has. So by introducing a little CBD into your body, it helps your systems communicate with each other and bring you back to a balance or homeostasis, which is the technical term for it. But, you know, we used it 10 years ago when my husband was battling pancreatic cancer, and it was a game changer for him. So I'm very passionate about it, and that's what I do. And a great referral for me would be someone who would love to start taking care of their body and realigning their body to have systems work better, to decrease inflammation, decrease your pain receptors, kind of get more focus. And when you turn out in the morning a hot mess like this, a couple drops, I'll be beautiful in about an hour. But right now, my coffee, you guys are my fixes. I appreciate being here, and I love this group. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Michelle. And next,
Love it,
we have
Michelle. Love it.
Joanne.
Hey, hi, everybody. Hi, I'm Joanne Zagari. I have this little thing here called Blue Dove Marketing, where I organize vendor events in Facebook groups. A lot of my groups have 200, 300, 400 people in them right now. And it's just a way of an inexpensive way of getting yourself in front of people who never knew you existed. That's pretty much it. You get to post in there. You can go live in there. You can reach out to the other members that are within the group. For my groups are run a little bit different than other people's, and you know, it's there for you. So that's pretty much what I do. If you're interested, just reach out to me on Facebook. And I also am, I don't know, should I talk about the jewelry? I don't know, Meg. I am actually going over to another company. Oh, okay. I thought she's going like this. No. Okay. I am going over into another company called Studio 7 Fashion Jewelry, where it's still costume jewelry, but paparazzi has got some issues that I've got red flags. And we talk about women especially women who don't pay attention to those red flags and just keep going and going and going until, you know, you have no more rope to hang yourself. So anyway, that is Studio 7. So, you know, please be on the lookout for it. I'm looking to develop a whole boutique. So it should be a really nice thing. And once I move after November 1st, that'll start, you'll start seeing that more. So thank you very much.
Great. So that leaves me. So I am Megan Romero, and Joanne and I started this group so that we could be able to form lasting, wonderful relationships with each other. We've gotten into the habit of saying the know, like, and trust. We want to build that in this group like no other. And so, but my day job is I'm a bookkeeper and financial consultant for individuals, families, and businesses. I don't like to say, oh, you're a family, I don't help you. No, those are people that I can really help too. I think it's one area of bookkeeping and financial consulting that tends to fall by the wayside. People need help with their budgeting. With that, I have also added in where I'm a life insurance representative for Primerica. I'm licensed currently in New York and South Carolina, but easily can get a non-residence license anywhere else. But we help people find their financial independence number, which is so important when you're looking at when am I going to be able to retire? So if you know anybody who just, you know, they just turned 18, they just started their first job, they just got married, like first child, first house, like those milestone events, please refer them over to me, because it's really important that they get their financial picture in focus, but then also they have that income protection just in case the worst happens. And then also, I'm going with Joanne. I'm also leaving paparazzi, and we'll be opening up kind of a boutique style. And hubby has actually been contemplating putting some of his artwork on items like clothes and bags and stuff like that. And we're going to add that to the boutique. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So I think that's good. I'm going to shut up now. And we're going to go on to throwing it over to Susan to start her speaking. Let me ask you to unmute. There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, thank you, everyone. So we have a nice intimate group this morning. And excuse me for apologies, my virtual assistant was ill this week. And so I did not do the, the slides. So you're going to get me speaking directly to you rather than looking at slides. So, there is something to be said about that. It creates more connection. When you do your presentations, you want to interrupt your slides and go back to you so that your audience sees you and connects with you, because after a while, when people look at 12 slides or more, their eyes glaze over and they start to look at their phone and they go sideways. So now that I have your total attention, so as I said before, my intro, and I'll say it again, I've been in business for over 35 years experience as an accountant by training, by education, and started out as the very entry-level accountant and worked my way up to CFO C-suite, where I was for the last years of my corporate career in firms from 10 people, family businesses, to 200 employees, really straightening out a hot mess. And that's why they got me on board. So, and they went from 3 million to 8 million in my tenure, plus all the procedures and strategies that needed to be in place, and good relationships with their clients because they were an international design firm. So my company is Success Driven Results. It happens to be my initials. So I got lucky that way. And as I said before, I make life easier for business owners to be more confident and clear. It's so important to have that in your pocket and to be prosperous, grow your revenue, increase your profit, and have consistent cash flow. So as I said in my intro also, a dream without a plan is just a wish and you're winging it and you're kidding yourself. So I am your CFO. I partner with you intimately, integrally, and I am your business coach in your pocket. I help you up level and scale your business. I give you the good news. I give you the bad news. I am committed to your success with strategic planning, executive coaching, how to generate consistent cash flow, going through pricing, contracts and such, developing products and services, have more high-paying clients, manage your time, and think like a CEO, excuse me. So, which brings me to my talk. And I love the graphics that you provided on the Facebook group, the page, whoever did that. Thank you. Thank you, Megan. That really looked fabulous. I loved it. It was very, very cute. Love that. So how do you have a CEO mindset? How do you think like a CEO, even though, well, I'm just, I'm doing my thing. I'm a solopreneur, and I'm selling, I don't care what the heck you're selling or making, whatever professional service you're providing. You are the head of your company, be it just you or 100 of you. So it doesn't matter. It's you set up your day and everyone knows that it's your company. You are the face of your business. People come to you, they see you. So the most important thing when you get up every day is in the morning, have a routine. And every successful business owner, and I'm talking Jeff Bezos, Tony Robbins, all the top coaches, some of which I've worked with, and also anyone who is a multi-millionaire. And you don't want to say, well, I'm not going to be like them. This is all about being the best human being that you can be. And there is a reason why you started your business in the first place. You love what you do and you're passionate about it. So don't be embarrassed or ashamed that you make money for what you do. You provide something much needed for your clients and prospects. And in the morning, the most important thing is to take care of yourself so that you're not in your head upside down sideways. Oh my God, I have to, whatever. And then you have your home life obligations, wife, husband, boyfriend, whoever it is, children. In the morning, the routine that I recommend is what's called a mind dump, where you write in your journal everything that's in your head. Now, get it out of there. Laundry, prospects, this, that, anything that you're worried about, mother-in-law, father-in-law, whatever it is, write it down and get it out of your head. That's it. And it's on paper, it's in your journal. And even though, this sounds stupid and trite, it is going to take up space in here. And without this being clear, you really limit your creativity. And if you are in business, you as an entrepreneur, and we're all entrepreneurs, you need to be creative. You need to allow yourself that freedom of mind space. So you have to get the crap out of there. Write it down. And if it doesn't have to be the history of the world, just write it down. I got Joanne, you're moving. I got to packing, daughters, just write it down, just a dozen things, just get it out of there. And then onward and upward. So you want to stay out of the how and instead ask yourself, what needs to happen next? This is one step at a time. You only need to be on the step that you're on. You don't have, what about, be where you are, be on the step that you're on and complete that instead of asking yourself, how do I do this? How do I make that happen? I have to do a social media campaign. How's that going to happen? I don't know social media. Who am I going to call to do that? How do I, how much is that going to cost? Well, just be on the step that you're on and ask yourself what needs to happen next. The next, number 3, have a plan. If you don't have a plan, you're flying blind. If you think I know what I'm doing today, all right, that's wonderful. But in terms of your business, have a plan as to this year, this quarter, this month. They all back into, I'd love to have 12 new clients and I would like to have X income by when, and have it be a measured result. It's measurable. It's quantitative, if I said that correctly. So if you want by 12/31/21, let's say 9 new clients, that means, okay, we're in the last quarter, 3 new clients a month. What are you going to do? And just be on the step that you're on. Never mind, how am I going to get 9 new clients? Be on this, because this is what the mind does. So you want to be on the step that you're on and look at, who do I know? Who can refer me? who can I ask for an introduction? Who would I like as a client? And then see, who do I know that knows that kind of person? I'm going to ask for an introduction. Let me reach out and see what I could do to help them. What are they looking for? But it's taking it apart piece by piece, down from 3 months. We're now 3 months to the end of the year. Believe it or not, 11 weeks we have, 11 weeks to the end of the year. And so it's not as bad as looking at a whole like 2022, because then, with clients that I work with, we're going to come up with a plan for what would you like to have, in your bank account, in your business, and in your personal life. What would make you happy, and then create a plan to have that happen, quarter by quarter, month by month, week by week. And then you have accountability and support if you're working with someone. So having a plan makes it easy. You don't have to rethink it every single day and wake up with it. So you do your mind dump. You think about the step that you're on. Don't think about the how. Ask yourself, what needs to happen next? And you're backing that up into your plan, and you're working your plan. So from working a plan, step 4 is know your numbers. Every CEO knows their numbers because their CFO gave it to them based on, and since I was a CFO for years, I would sit down with the CEO and work their vision into a financial plan with numbers that made sense, not pie in the sky. I would have a lot of designers, and designers always have wonderful ideas and plans, pie in the sky. And then I would say, I would ask some key questions, and then we would, tailor it down, or they would say, I want it anyway. Make it happen, Susan. Make it happen, number 1. And so actually, no, I would make it happen, because I would figure it out and make it happen. We would develop new products, new divisions, new whatever, So since I was working at a very high level with multiple millions of dollars at stake, then, I took it on to make it happen, and I did. So I cut my teeth on doing things like that were really out of the box for me. It was fun and challenging. I love a challenge, and I've learned to be a really good problem solver and partnering with people to have them have what they truly desire. Is it possible? Yes, indeed. Anything is possible with the right mindset, the CEO mindset. So knowing your numbers and working them within the plan is key. And number 5 is have a vision for your success. How do you have a vision for your success? Is it just like, lollipops and rainbows here? We're making up, stuff as we go along? Not really. It's to really, what do you really desire as a human being? Oh, the sun is coming into my living room now, so I gotta tilt this a little way there. Okay, so so your vision is based on you. You are your business, and your vision comes from the place of clarity and confidence. Confidence in yourself, knowing who you are. It's like, what do you want to bring forth to other people so that they see you, they see what you provide, they're curious, and they want to have what you got. And it's not maybe your product or your service, but it's who you're being as a person. You're so clear, you know what you can do in your business. You are confident that, yes, I know this, and they're having a problem with that. I know I can help that person and their company. So you want to be clear in your vision with clarity and confidence. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, number 7. Okay, so creating mind space on a daily basis. You create mind space on a daily basis by taking breaks. Do not burn yourself out working 10, 12 hours a day. I don't care what you're doing. You know, there's no blood, there's nobody dying, no one's dying. You know, you must take breaks. And that means 10 minutes, get up and stretch and walk around your property, you know, walk around the block. You want to drink water, because if you're doing and you're thinking and you're in your business, it's important to take care of your body. Otherwise, at the end of the week, you're going to feel it. So every day you want to create mind space by taking care of your body. Your body is your vessel. And you're going to wake up looking, you know, you'll be tired if you don't drink enough water. I drink coffee in the morning, like 3, 4, I drink a pot of coffee. And then when I'm done with that, then it's on to water, you know, and maybe 1 cup at 4 o'clock, coffee break, you know, have another cup of coffee, and then that's it. But water, water, water. And and also I find these are all things that I do and I incorporate in my daily routine and my daily care. I also breathe deeply. You know, when you're upset, stressed, you know, I called this person, I don't know how many times, they're not calling me back. You know, this is what's going on up here. And they're not giving me the information, or they're not signing my whatever it is. And then, you know, and all of that goes on up here, either you speak it or it's there running. So, and you notice, be aware of the tightening in your chest, in your gut, and you want to stop and just breathe. Breathing changes, it shifts everything for you. If you breathe in slowly and you hold it 10 seconds and then you let it out slowly, you do this a few times, this slows down your body, now I forget the name of it, it's a scientific name, for the system that is running you in that manner. So I'm not a scientist, so I don't know that, or a health professional like Wanda. So I'm sure she knows it, but you want to slow this down so that you're relaxed. And remember, put it on a Post-it. There's no blood and nobody died. All right. And I think that's a really funny reminder, because I'll tell you the story that's related to that. I was a CFO in a family-run business, and this place was like, you know, it was like herding cats to get anything done in this place. And because everybody was doing their thing, because it was, you know, their business. And meanwhile, you know, there's no money for payroll. I used to get in my car and go pick up the checks at the client's offices, because this was in Connecticut. And I was working in Stamford, Connecticut, and I would just go around Connecticut and pick up the client checks, because I don't go with the check is in the mail thing. And the bookkeeper was doing, you know, she was doing what she had to do, and I had to take care of payroll. So I would go around and pick up these checks. And so I'm picking up the checks, and I'm on the phone in my office with one of the clients to make arrangements to pick up the check. And in comes in the doorway of my office this mouse. And I'm on the phone, and I see the mouse coming in, and I'm talking to the client, and I don't like mice, especially in my office. So I climb up on top of my desk. And here I am. Now it's partitions, you know, we're all in cubicles. So you see me from here up, and I'm talking, and my voice is getting higher and higher and louder, you know. And so the So everyone is looking at me like, what the hell is she doing? And then the owner's father, who passed the business down to him, he comes in his tennis whites. This guy is in his, he must have been 80, just got done playing tennis, and he's in his tennis whites, and he goes, Susan, what's going on? And I go, nothing's wrong, you know. And then the owner comes in, and he takes care of the mouse, but the father said to me, you know, because I was on the phone with the client, so I still had to be professional, and yes, I'm going to come over and pick up the check. Meanwhile, looking at the mouse, it's getting closer and closer, and the CEO comes in, you know, what's going on, and takes care of the mouse. And the father in the tennis whites, I get down off the desk, and he looks at me, Susan, there was no blood. Nobody died. It's all good, honey. It's all good. You know, good job. And then he went out to play, I don't know what, you know, pinochle with his friends. But this always struck me. This man, he saw the whole scenario, and he saw me go through what I went through. And then I went, got in my car and picked up the check and did payroll that day. And that was the end of that. But it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective and your interpretation of what's going on. For me, I was over the top, and I had all to do to keep my voice down low and stop and start screaming. You know, that was like not doing that in the office, especially when the owner came over. Susan, is everything all right? And I was like, yes, everything is fine. You know, and still on the phone with the client, being as professional as I possibly can be. So it was hysterical in hindsight. At the moment, it was not fun, but the father, in his wisdom, you know, and because he started that company, he just, you know, he rolled with everything. And so it's you got to roll with it and not get hung up on the little minute details, because you're gonna handle it. And it's all going to be fine. So that's my funny story there. Next is number 9. You want to avoid comparison and judgment. So negative self-talk is the killer of joy, the number 1 killer of joy. If you compare yourself to somebody else in your field, you know, you're killing off your inner joy. You really are. You are a unique human being. And the way that you present what you're giving, what you're offering, what you're providing for prospects and clients and everyone that you know is unique to you. You have your unique personal code, your way of interacting, the warmth and compassion that is really natural to us as human beings is really what wants to come forward from within you. You know, you don't want to lead with the, you know, and to prove yourself that, well, I'm better than this one. They offer the same thing as I do, or it's similar. Everyone is different and unique. Everyone has their unique thumbprint. But when you go into your head and compare yourself to other people in your field, or people who are in your neighborhood, I have this, they don't have that, I don't have that, they have that, all that takes up mind space. And it really robs you of staying in your inner joy and your passion for your life. And that extends into your business, and it extends into your pores, your core as a human being. And people are, you know, we are very intuitive beings, and we pick up on that from other people. And we avoid people who are like that. And then yet we are inexplicably drawn to people who are just, there's something, like Joanne, she's so, you know, I don't know, fun. I just love being with Joanne. She's such a, you know, it's things that are just innate about an individual that draw you to them. And so you want to stay within your passion and know that you're really good at what you do. You know, You're really good at what you do. And that keeps you in your lane of goodness and greatness in the CEO mindset. And last but not least, number 10 is be your best self, which, this segues into that. Being your best self, you can't be anybody else. All those are taken, as the saying goes. You got to be yourself. And really, this is by being your best self, this is what's possible for you to increase your productivity, increase your joy in your business. And this shows up as an increase in clients because you're attracting them by consistently following up with them, consistently reaching out. And people get that, let me have a chat with this one. They may have, you get people curious about you. So you create more productivity and joy as a business owner for you. So these are the 10 top things that are needed to run your business. Be the CEO, be proud of what you've created, because you created your business out of nothing. It wasn't there before you said, oh, I'm gonna, do this and name it, claim it, and be it and do it, provide the service, create the products. And so I'm gonna take some questions. Anybody have any questions? Yes. Okay. So who can, Wanda, Dr. Wanda, you have to be unmuted.
Yes, thank you. This was so good. My first question, it really was, seriously. I've heard many facets of that, but you nailed. When does somebody call himself or herself a CEO? I've heard people say, but you can't call yourself a CEO when you start your business. You know how when you have your name, you put CEO after, because some people say you have to have employees, otherwise you can't call yourself CEO. Is that true?
That's baloney. No, no, because you're the owner, you're the founder. So for me, I put CEO and owner I am the owner of SDR Consulting. I am the CEO.
So you're not deceiving, like some people say, oh, that's deceiving.
No,
and I'm like,
no,
Dr.
no. That's you run the business, you own the business, you are the business, you're the CEO. It also denotes your stature, and that's important that you own that. It's important that you own that because so many entrepreneurs, solopreneurs just think, well, I'm, doing this, and it lands like it's a side gig or it's a thing I'm trying, it may work out, declare it and own it. I'm the CEO, damn it. And the buck stops here. And when you take that on, it's like, oh, it's like putting your best dress or suit on and not your sweatpants,
And Susan, thank you for saying that, because seriously, I'm realizing more and more in marketing, because I've been told it's the words that you use, they connote certain things. And then sometimes, like me being all integrity and all that, I'm like, oh, should I say that? Or it's going to sound like deceptive, and it's not. And I'm saying to myself, so I'm learning. And so it was not even just the CEO. It's really what I'm learning more and more about words. It's like, well, you have to say it this way. You have to say. So now I'm saying to myself, wow, what a new world for me. I'm learning every day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you. Thank you.
Wanda, give yourself permission. Give yourself permission to, step into it.
I'm learning this more and more now.
Yeah, because it'll make you stand up straighter, and you're not going to let other people determine who you are and who you're not. You get to say, this is your business, your life. People do not define you. You set the standard. And if they don't like that, oh, well, then you just walk away. There's going to be plenty of people who want to hear what you have to say, to be in the space with you. There's no blood. There's no blood.
A
Yeah.
little thing there,
Yes,
because what Wanda's saying, Wanda, not everybody is going to be for you, and you're not going to be for
Yeah.
everybody,
correct.
you know,
I
and
got
like
that.
Susan
I
says,
got
you got to
that.
know when to say, okay, you know,
Yeah. Ta-ta.
you take it away,
That's it.
they come to you.
Mhm.
It's okay to take it away because they will come to you. And I've learned
Yeah,
that.
I
in
have done
sales.
that. Yeah, I have done
Sometimes
that.
in sales, you have to say, you know what, maybe this just isn't for you. It's
Yeah.
okay. And they'll go, no, wait, kind of thing. So I'm sorry, Susan, I want to take away
No,
from you.
No,
That's fine. That's fine. You know, people will be drawn to you based on how you present yourself and what you're about. You know, you don't have to go chasing people. I mean, you do have to take action and be, you know, in front of people and be visible and invite people to be with you and see who responds. You have to practice that. You know, it's part of business. So, anybody else have any questions?
Wanda.
I have another one because
sure.
I was absolutely enthralled.
She loved it.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
So the second one is when you said to take that one, stay out of the how, ask what needs to happen next, complete that step. So I know that, you know, the what is that called? You know, that to-do list is, and the multitasking is a fallacy. I get that, I understand. But sometimes I am in that space of mind where, okay, so you reduce your 10 to-do list to the 3, because as I say, you take out of that the 3 that are your priority. But now you saying, I mean, which I like, and I want to implement to see if there's a difference. You saying to complete 1 out of the 3. So let's say I have 3 things that I have to do today, because I have learned to say to myself, I can't complete those to-do lists that I used to do. Okay, fine. So what are my 3 priorities? So I gathered that. But out of that, sometimes I don't even complete the 3. So you saying just to do that 1 thing and complete that, because I think that's where I run into, where I'm doing something and I say, but I have to do this thing. So I'll time block it, and I may say I'll take 1 hour. And I think that's okay to do, because I hear a lot about the time blocking. Do 1 thing, so at least you complete something for 1 hour, but then you can do something else, which then achieves your goal of having done the 3. Does that?
Oh, okay. So you want to look at your to-do list, because everybody's got one. I stopped doing a to-do list. I have in my calendar, I have what's already booked on my calendar, but I also have a short list. So you want to pick, you can do a 12 things or 20 or 25. I used to have 25 things on my to-do list. A to-do list never ends, because it's, you know, we're always doing and producing and all the things that do need to get done. So if it's a source of stress for you, which it usually ends up to be, because people get like, oh my God, this thing is like never ending, and now I have these 7 things. You can break it down into 3 things. What are the top 3 things, the low-hanging fruit? What is closest to the money? What's closest to the money? Is it, let me call that person who expressed interest in talking to me? Let me finish, you know, things that will generate income. Let me get all my invoices out. If you don't do your invoicing, then you have no cash flow, you know, period. That has to be up to date. So it's all, you know, all of these income producing activities. Yes, just like, yeah, Joanne said. And it is key to having a successful day, a successful business, do the 3 things. And those 3 things may have steps under them, you know, and don't have them be, you know, like 25 steps under each 3 of those things. You will, you'll get, yeah, right, exactly, Megan. So that's going to be really hard to maintain on a continuous basis. So if you want to get a speaking engagement, if you want to, let's see, get more clients, then you can reach out to your past clients, connections, ask for referrals. You want to create, okay, 10 people. Who would those 10 people be? But you really want to break it down. Start with income generating activities. You know, not like I have to do laundry today, you know. That's like, you know, that's like number 35 on the list, you know. That's off. So, yeah. So, so with this, I have to end. And this was really my pleasure to present this. It is something that we forget, you know, that to come from this place as the owner, as the owner, founder, and who is that? That's the CEO, you know. So put that, you know, put that on, try it on, wear it, walk around the house, you know.
We loved it. I think everybody enjoyed this. Thank you,
This
Susan.
is great. Thank you so much.
Pretty good.
Pleasure. I'll do another speaking presentation next month as well. I'll do something else
Awesome.
next time, maybe with slides. I don't know. We'll see.
Well,
And
I'll
I've
reach
always
out
referred to
to
myself
you.
as the CEO of my company
Yeah. Good
every
for you.
time.
Yep, you are. Yeah, right. And you'll notice when you show up that way and you declare, you say, I'm the CEO and owner of SDR Consulting. I'm the CEO and owner of Infinia Development. You know, people pay attention. They're like, yeah, this is a business. This is a company. This is not like a, you know, a
Hobby.
home little hobby thingy.
Side
Right.
hustle.
All right. So with that, have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you. That was
If
great.
anyone wants to chat with me, I put my link in the chat. Okay.
Sounds
Yes,
good. I'll reach
absolutely.
out to you about a date for next time. Thank
Okay.
you.
Excellent. All right.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, Susan. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too.
Have a
Bye.
good
Have a
one.
great weekend. Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, and you know, just to add on to what you said about money producing activities, you know, a lot of people, especially when it comes to like direct sales people and stuff, and they're not really trained in sales and to go out there and get the money. They'll do a lot of this, you know, straightening up the desk, make sure it looks good. Oh, go through the files, make sure they're good. That is not money producing activity. That is not stuff that you want to do. You want to make sure that, yeah, you're going, you know, for the money. Yeah, like do the invoicing, make the phone call, make the connections, that kind of thing. That's your money producing activities. We got that a lot in paparazzi. You know, stop organizing your jewelry. You don't need to organize your jewelry. Go live and sell that jewelry, show it, kind of thing. So that's really a very good thing. That was actually a really good presentation. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, same here. I do find myself getting bogged down in the non-money producing things because that's when you start, if you get to a place where you're so bogged down on the non-money producing things, that's when you got to start looking at like, can I hire somebody to do that stuff so that it frees me up to do the money producing thing?
Bring in the money.
Because
Bring
then
in
they're
the money.
paying for themselves by taking care of those things for me. That's where I'm at right now, where I'm like, okay, I think I need an assistant / bookkeeper, somebody who's willing to get life insurance licensed, and I'm ready to go. So
Yeah, put it out there. Put it out there, you know.
I
already
will be
have it.
actually.
I already have it. You know, again, that's that positive. Again, and energy is so important. Like if you get up in the morning, you're like, oh, the drudgery of getting up. Oh my God. And you're gonna find that your day is gonna just be shit. It really is. It's like you're gonna get bad news in the mail, someone's gonna call and says somebody's sick. Or if you get up in the morning, like, great day, beautiful day, let's go. Your energy is different. You bring better energy to you. It's weird. It's almost like you're a magnet for good or you're a magnet for not so good.
Mhm.
So, that's really super important to adjust your energy. And
I
if
could
you
have,
don't
I could have rolled right over in bed today because I'm exhausted. But I thought, you know
Oh,
what?
that's different. You just drove 20 hours.
I know, but I need this. Oh, no, I flew up.
Oh, you flew. Okay.
Oh, no, I didn't drive. No.
Okay.
At 66 years of age, I don't drive that anymore.
I'm going to be driving at 62. I'm going to be driving.
Put it in drive and go. But what she said was so key. And I just put this great book that I'm reading. And see, that's what I do. I drive 3 hours, from Saratoga to Oswego, and I listen to my books. And this is the greatest book I just listened to, The Consistency Chain for Network Marketers. And exactly what Susan was just saying. They say pick one thing, Wanda, one thing a day. And if you do that, do it today. Don't say I'll do it tomorrow because tomorrow never comes. But you do one thing a day. At the end of the year, you've done 365 things on your list.
wow.
Think about that. Okay, think about that. Now, the law of attraction and the law of statistics, if you get 1% feedback on that one thing, you have 36 people that have joined you, follow you, purchased from you. If 10%, I'm not a math person, but I may be doing this wrong. It might be three people, but just think of who in 365 days, if you reach out to one person a day, just one person, you complete one income producing activity every day. He talks about, and I'll be glad to talk about this next week because he spoke at our business book club last Saturday. Are you a 20%er or are you an 80%er? You want to surround yourself with 20%ers, the self-starters, people who you don't have to babysit and walk through it. Yeah. Those are the 80%ers. Now, 80%ers are important, but if you don't want to drain and suck your own energy out, surround yourself with the 20%ers. And how do you do that? You need to sort out and figure out who the 20%ers are. Absolutely. And honestly, everybody on here are 20%ers. And that's why I surround myself.
35, 40, I'll be honest with you.
And that's okay to teeter up into 35 and 40. But your makeup, your chemistry makeup, your neurological makeup, your neural pathways are 20%ers, or you wouldn't be here every Friday morning at 10 o'clock. That's it. That's key. That's key. It is.
Do you want to be a speaker next week? I'm jumping on people when they say it.
Yes, and then I wanted Wanda while we're on it, and then we have to let Richard do his thing. Wanda, I really want to know if you would please talk about what you do, if you would be a speaker and kind of like, because you were talking about some things that were really, you touched on earlier because my brain is like ridiculous. But I said, you know what, we need to get Wanda because I really want to get down into what you do. I want to drill down into that. Is that a possibility? Okay, Megan, I can't find my calendar. I don't know where
I got it.
All right, there's so much stuff everywhere. Everything's packed.
Do you want to be speaker the following week, Wanda? The 29th?
No.
She's going for her calendar. And then we'll kind of try and get
Michelle, awesome. So we got both Michelle and
then if
Wanda.
anybody knows of anybody who's looking for, good, okay. And then anybody who's looking for, who would be willing to do helpful hints for the next couple weeks, where we have openings too, so. if you
Wanda
know
says,
anybody-
hand is up. Wanda's hand is up. Good.
Wanda messaged me, she's like, anytime you want me to sub, I'm like,
No,
Me
Only
too.
one.
Me too.
also the only reason I'm willing to do any helpful hints because I learn something every week, And
Yeah.
this was my thing all along. What people didn't do in my journey, not sharing, a lot of things. And I think it's more important than ever, because while hogging this information, so I'm willing to do the helpful hints, because I learn helpful hints every week. So I'm willing to share. That was my whole thing. So please don't hesitate. I will be here, because just like Michelle, I was very tired, a little bit dejected mentally. I almost didn't come this morning. And I said, look at that. If I had not come, look at what I would have missed with the CEO mindset thing. And seeing Michelle, love you, Michelle. So I'm like, no, I'm going to miss seeing Michelle, Joanne, and all the other guys. I'm like, no, I'm not missing it.
Awesome.
Love it.
See,
Love that.
makes
Thank
me
you.
feel good.
We were just talking about, like Megan and I, what are we doing?
You just get tired.
Going. Are we gonna let Richard do his thing?
Yes. Richard,
Okay.
sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. It's not like we don't have time. We do.
Ball's in your court, man.
All right, so reputation management is a very big deal. I mean, when people are looking for you, they really want to know what other people think. It's just the new way we do things now. We don't really go out there and look in yellow pages, go to any of that anymore. We've gone way past that. And we look to see what other people think before we decide if we're going to be part of you. So you really have to take control of your reputation management. Now, I don't mean, taking control of making sure you get 5 stars. You should do that for your business anyway. I'm talking about just making sure people are talking about you, doing these reviews. And the best way to really do that is to ask. Simply ask, hey, what did you think about, whatever we did? And would you be willing to give me a review? You actually have to point them, because a lot of people, it's too confusing. They don't think about it. So you really got to remind them, hey, if you could give me a review, it'd be great. Now, what you cannot do is you cannot ask for a specific star or tell them what to say. I mean, I know that used to be a big thing with marketing. Would you say this? Yeah, this person said this. Well, they said they would, so they said it. You can't do that anymore. Not with reviews. You have to actually let them come up with their own. Now, you can influence them. Not so much about the stars. Hopefully your service is going to take care of that by itself. Of course, people will get to the negative ones in a few. But you can sit there and go, okay, look, hey, I did web development for you. What did you think of my web development job? Oh, yeah, now of course I got web development in their ear because that's what I did. And that's what they're going to talk about next. So they, oh yeah, it was great and all that. And could you send me a review? Great. He did web development for me. It was great. 5-star, the whole 9 yards. That's great. But I didn't tell them what to say, but I did kind of plant it in their ear. I kind of reminded them what we did. So they kept on their top of their mind. Now you can't stop people from giving you a review. And people will give you negative reviews. They had a bad day. They had a bad cup of coffee. In B&I, we talk about drip buckets. When they go to see you, they have these buckets. If they, I'm stuck in traffic, it's dripping a negative bucket. Oh, the sun's out, drinking a positive. So these are outside your control, but they could actually influence how people think. If they have a lot of negative things that happen that day, they might take it out on you in your review. Okay, fine. No big deal. The best thing to do is always answer every review you get. And if they're negative, don't say, oh, it wasn't me, or no, it was really you because you had a bad day. No, screw that. Oh, sorry, you had a bad experience, blah, 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 blah. And, hopefully make it better. Give me a call. We'll work this out. Because remember, you're not answering the review for the person that left it. Because the person that left it doesn't give a damn what you said. But the people who are reading it will care. And they're going to look at that and say, oh, he's handling it professionally. I've seen people answer reviews in the dumbest ways. This dentist office this guy had a bad experience with the front desk, put it in his review, gave him 1 star. The guy's answer was, oh, that's not us, you're wrong. It's like, no, it's not wrong. He had a bad day. He had a bad experience. Whatever it was bad. And he let people know. So you just got to be smarter than that. And the truth is, if you ask people for reviews, they tend to give you a little bit better because they kind of feel on the spot. There's a little psychology behind all that. It's like, oh, he's asking me. I really can't be, unless they really had a really bad day. But for the most part, they tend not to. And it's like you just gotta kind of do that. Actually, I tend to have a software that goes out there and sends them an email saying, would you think about us? Would you rate us? And could you go and put that out there? Now I give them the option to go on to Google, on to Facebook, or anything they choose to go on to leave that review. And the good thing about the software too is because people get busy, it sends a follow-up. But it doesn't keep following up to the point of annoying. It just kind of says, oh, you haven't left the review yet, just reminding you kind of stuff. So it's not a bad thing to do. Again, following up with everything is always a good thing. But you really just ask. Now, there are some platforms like Yelp that don't even want you to do that. You know what? Don't ask them to go on Yelp. Let Yelp be Yelp. But all the other ones don't care if you ask, as long as you don't tell them what to do or say. They're all fine with it. So it's just that simple. Ask them. Let it kind of go for a little. You did it. Maybe a week or two later, bring it up again. Well, if you have a good relationship with them, a lot of times they'll do that. They just won't think about putting a review on their own. It's not really something they think of. Oh, I should go put a review out there. Nah, the only thing about that one is bad. It's like, oh, I had trouble. I'm going to go put something out there now. Okay, but you want to get your own positive, and doing that will help get you a positive review. And also, like I said, don't get hung up on negative ones. You got a negative review. Oh my God, that's the end of the world. It's actually not. It's actually not the worst thing that happened to you, because if you sit there and have enough reviews, so you say maybe 50, whatever, and you show 5 stars still, people think there's something wrong. They think you bought them. Because it's like, no, somebody somewhere along the line had a bad day. It happens. The real sweet spot is between 4.2 and 4.6. If you could stay in that range, you're all right. You're doing all right. And of course, the number of reviews also makes a big difference. The more you get, the better it is. Because, if you have 3 or 4 and you have 5, they think, it's your mother and father who really pays attention to that. You get 100 of them and you're sitting about 4.8. Hey, you know what? It's worth something. And it also helps with your search results, because the search engines look at that as well. And they look at not only the star rating, but the number. And I kind of tell people, they treat everybody like a pizzeria. When you go to a pizzeria, what do you want to know? Who's close and who's good? Well, that's what the maps kind of do. Who's close to your response and who's good. And if you have more reviews than your competition, even though your rating's a little less, you might still outrank them just because it's your numbers. Because they view your review as more realistic because of so many people. Like I said, you have 4 or 5 people and you're 5 stars, probably your family. That's not realistic. But you have 100 and at 4.8, that's very realistic. And the search engines look at that too. So it's also important for not only for people to get you, but it's also for the search engines to put you up there to be seen. So you really want to start asking for reviews and getting those reviews together. And of course, you always want to do a great job so you get the highest review possible, but you don't sweat the small ones. It happens. It happens to everybody at some point in time. Any questions?
That's been my motto. My late husband was a very gifted photographer. And, I would go to conferences with him, and we went to listen to a gentleman, I can't think of his name, but he was a Zig Ziglar follower. And he said, everybody knows 300 people. You make one person happy, you've made 300 happy. You make one person unhappy, you've made 300 unhappy, because they will tell. And, in the old time photo business in Lake George, we're dealing with vanity. I mean, we have people and they're like, I want to look just like her. I want to wear that, And so if they didn't like their photo, my kids, especially after Patrick passed away, my kids were always so protective of me, trying to make that sale, get that sale. And I'm like, guys, forget it. I always had filled out underneath the counter gift certificates. And I said, this is what I need you to say. Here, I'm so sorry we were not able to make you happy today. Please keep those photos. Our gift to you. But here's a gift certificate. Please come back and give us another try. Because it might just have been an off day for you, and it might have been an off day for us. But we really appreciate you coming in your business. No, those are free. Please keep those. Now, they didn't like them, but they're going to keep them. That's okay. They're going to go home and say, oh my God, I had these terrible pictures taken in old time photos. Their friends are going to say, oh, I bet you'll never go back there again. And they'll say, well, you know, they were nice. They gave me a free gift certificate to come back and try them again. That first the negative, but that broadcasts to their 300 people that, wow, that's a quality
They're
business.
professional. Yeah.
They're professionals. They put the customer first. But
Right.
you know, my kids were so protective, like, Michelle, it's $50. I'm not going to let them walk out with $50 worth of pictures. I'm like, I don't care about the $50. What I care about is their 300 people
Yeah,
plus
that's worth a whole lot more.
the next 10 people in line who are listening to how you're dealing with them. That's what I care about. I don't care about
Same
the
idea.
$50.
Yeah.
It's true. There's a saying that a happy customer is going to tell one person, an unhappy customer is going to tell 10 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that, yeah,
It's true.
It really is true. Absolutely. That was really good.
That
Anyone
was
else?
great. Thank you so much.
Sure.
I believe
So
I believe in
good.
that
So
wholeheartedly. Yeah.
I'll put a little hint out there as well, because, you know, I'm talking about these larger companies that have like a Twitter presence. I've just Ashley Furniture. We had 2 different dining room sets from them over the past, let's say 6 years, where the chairs broke in exactly the same spot, like in that pressure point, you know, you have the rails and that bottom rail cracks, a leg broke, that kind of thing. The couches that we have for them, they're less than a year old. They look like they're 10 years old. The cushions are like depressed in certain areas, compressed and everything. I'm like, this is terrible. So, you know, you want to get somewhere with a company, check out if they have a Twitter presence, because you put out on Twitter, I was nice about it, but I was disappointed. Ashley Furniture, I just thought you were like the best furniture around, and this is what's happening. I had 2 dining room sets, blah, blah, blah. I got a message back almost immediately. We are so sorry. Please DM us and let me see what we can do. They're working on it right now. I said, I don't know what you can do other than just make better furniture, more quality furniture, because it's not like it was a fluke with the 1 dining room set, because we bought another dining room set and in less than 6 months, we had the same problem. Quite honestly, it's just not me and my husband. And it's hardly ever used. And this chair was broken. So Twitter is always a good thing, guys. If you're looking to get some sort of satisfaction or some sort of answer, it's just a little helpful hint that I put out there. I will always go to Twitter, and I have gotten more results from tweeting these companies. Even our car, when we bought the truck a while ago, yeah, they were on that immediately. So it's a really good tool to use.
And I think also, like, don't forget to give reviews yourself. Like, I know that one thing that I've recognized is that if I take the time to do a review for somebody else, like, especially if it's reciprocal business, like I buy from them, they buy from me. If I give them a good review, they're a lot more likely to then go, oh, you know what? I should go and give them a review as well. Whether it's good or bad or what, indifferent, it's still, at least it's, you know,
Oh, no, that's
Right.
and then people that you all both know, it like, it's a ripple effect. They see it. That's what I've noticed. At least on Facebook, like you or what is it, Alignable, that we were on for so long.
Alignable, yes.
Yeah, like I'm one of the highest rated bookkeepers in the
Alignable,
area, and because of the reviews. Like, you give a review, then other people are going to see that.
Reciprocate.
Oh,
No, the recommendations they've put out there, yeah.
so
Yeah, always reciprocate if you can.
I've had people contact me after seeing a couple reviews pop up, like, and it's like, see, there you go. We got to get this, keep going. You know, you got to make sure you give as good as you get. So I think sometimes we just kind of get so stuck in what we're doing that we forget about doing something like that, when it doesn't
That just
happen.
comes to being a good person, you know, that comes down to just, you know, be a good person and reciprocate. So Yeah, so that was awesome. Thank you, Richard.
Sure.
Now let's do our breakout room. We'll stay here.
Let's do our shout out because we're almost at the end.
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I did want to give a shout out to Deborah. Deborah is my accountant. And I have to tell you that I keep horrendous records. Okay, I am really bad at what I do. Be quiet, Megan. Okay, be quiet. And
Pride.
Deborah put it all together. She put it all together and got everything done. And I was like, so she knows. I was almost scared to like have her do this because I figured I am a hopeless case and I should just tell her, forget it and everything. But we did it. And I just want to put that a good word in for Deb because she really, boy, if you need somebody to, you know, take care of you, she's your girl. Deb is going to be your girl. So I'll put that out there.
I refer to Deborah for taxes all the time. I'm like, go see Deborah.
Yeah, someone who's got the gift of numbers, for sure. For sure. Okay. All right, that's all I had. Anybody else?
Yeah, anybody else have any like announcements, special thing? I know, Richard, you said that you were doing free consultation.
I have I have in the chat. I can put it back if it's.
I think it's still there, yeah.
It should be up on top, right? You know, it's a quick little SEO consultation. I'll kind of give you a couple of suggestions on help improve your website to make it more optimized. And like I said, the link's in the chat for a quick phone call. It's like a 15-minute phone call.
Nice.
It's always helpful, guys. If anybody can, you know, give you a little bit of advice or something, then definitely take him up on it for sure.
Yeah.
I actually stopped my website, Richard. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to wait till I get my next one going up.
Yeah, we get with this changeover, I think a lot of things are going to be changing with both of our websites. So
A lot. For sure.
but I'll also
I can help build those websites too.
might need to talk to you about that.
For sure. All right. Anybody else have an announcement?
I have a little something. So anybody who's interested or knows somebody who's looking for a security system, right until tomorrow, I have an offer of the Vivint Security Smart Home System. It's free installation, free activation, and $300 equipment discount. So that's a really good deal. I'll probably have another one. Hopefully if you're not following me on Megan in Primerica on Facebook, definitely follow me there because I'm going to start putting things like that up whenever I get.
Absolutely. Put it back in the chat so everybody can see it, unless you probably already did, but put it separately.
Not yet. But I will.
But anyone else, everyone else is okay? Because we're getting to the end, the end. So I don't know if anybody, you know, has a time limit and they have to go because, you know, work still has to go on. This was, I thought this was a very productive meeting. I do. And we do have our free for all, but I know we have like 4 minutes to do a free for all. You guys up for it?
I am if anybody else is.
Okay. All right. So, all right, go ahead and do your thing. She's putting stuff in the chat. she's doing a thing. We can't walk and shoot at the same
You just
time.
told me to put it in chat, so I am.
What?
The
So
box.
how are you here for, Michelle?
I'm working, I worked 2 days this week and then I was gonna fly back home, but now I'm gonna work 3 days next week. So I'll fly back home next Thursday night and then I'll be bright and cheery next Friday for here. But my free for all or my thing is, what is one thing that you guys are gonna do today? Off the top of your head. What do you think?
I have to do my couch. Sorry, I've got to get
Okay.
it ready. That's
all
what I'm
right.
gonna do. I'm gonna be vacuuming it and sticky rolling it and everything, get all the hair off it and cover it so that it's all ready for the move. That's the one thing I'm doing today.
Good. I'm reaching out to 3 people today.
She's doing money producing activity.
I am.
I'm just
I am.
I'm
Well,
just grateful
because-
to get this done.
Because you know, distractions. Now I taught the last 2 days from 8 o'clock in the morning until 2:45. I was a hot mess. I kind of decompressed right after, you know, but I'm working with teachers who are working with kids who are in crisis. So they're in crisis. They're not in baseline. And I try
Right.
all I can to get them back down to baseline so they can look at kids in a way that makes sense to them. Not like, oh my God, here we go again, that little SOB, you know, which, you know, you can have those negative thoughts. You can have those. Just try not to have it roll off your lips, but you know, you can do that. So
We are
it's-
human. Yeah.
but it sucks the energy from me to try to keep them centered to baseline. So for me, you know, I could have stayed in Saratoga last night, but I went, I need a 3-hour drive. I need a 3-hour drive that's going to clear my brain. I'm going to listen to something on my audio, you know, audible.com, and I need to see my sister. So I knew that would be refreshing. And, you know, we're going to get our pedicure today, and I just needed a mindless kind of day. So
Yay.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love pedicures.
Yeah.
I want to get my nails done so bad.
Oh,
I know Richard wants to get his nails done too. So
But I
Then
also
Richard
needed
starts going,
I also needed your fix today too. I needed to be with you guys. I did.
Oh, that's awesome. I love to hear that. I can't wait to see you. I'm there. So I'm trying to ask you when you're going to be back, because I'll make sure you're back when I'm back. Because I
Yeah,
want to get together with you.
We've got a lunch date, girlfriend. We have got
Oh
a
yeah,
lunch date coming up.
absolutely. We're gonna go get our nails done or something. We're gonna go do something. And we're gonna eat. We're gonna have fun. Absolutely.
What's the date you'll be down?
It looks, well, we're moving in on the 1st. I'm
Okay.
trying to see if my husband's gonna see if we